Greetings and salutations, everyone. So, for today, play a new game here. It seems to have quite a lot of languages selectable, as you can see. So, we're gonna go with English for obvious reasons. There it has the content warning at the top in case it's a problem, but let me just check the options real quick. How do I select things in this? Oops, the wrong button. Okay, just use the mouse. Makes sense. I think that should be good. Yeah, this game's called Bad End Theater. No point in dilly-dallying around, let's just get into it real quick. Welcome to Bad End Theater. On the stage, we shall be toying with fate. You will make many choices, unlocking darker and darker paths, all in order to witness a lovely variety of tragic events. But first, allow me to explain how it works. To begin the tutorial, select whichever doll you like. I guess I'll start with this one. It's the human doll and the demon doll. Control the human doll. You're a friendly little guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the demon doll? So you can either choose to attack it or play nice. Play nice. Try to make friends with the demon doll, but it kills you in cold blood. How ruthless. You found your very first bad ending, but don't worry, the story need not end there. Let's reset the stage and try again. This time, try controlling the other doll. Demon doll. Control the demon doll. You're a fierce-looking guy, just minding your own business. How will you interact with the human doll? You can either attack it or play nice. So if I play nice, will this end well, or... You and the human doll are able to set aside your differences and become friends. Why, this isn't a bad ending at all. I should have written out this possibility. It's just not well suited to my theater whatsoever. Now that you know how the story goes, you can set the doll's behavior in advance. As you just saw, these behaviors will automatically be set to what you chose during your last playthrough. But now you can turn each one on or off without having to reply from that doll's perspective. Yes, my theater actually doubles as a puzzle game. Now try turning the doll's behaviors on and off to see the different outcomes. So I can make the human doll hostile and the demon doll wicked to see what happens when they both attack, maybe. So they will attack each other, right? Both attack each other at once and die together. End tutorial. I think that's good for the tutorial. Do you understand how to play? Yeah, I get it. This game saves your progress automatically, so just relax and collect all the bad endings at your own pace. Now, without further ado, let's start the show. So we have the hero, a maiden, an underling, and the overlord. Now, every single person I've seen that plays this always either starts with the maiden or the overlord. I guess it's just what people are drawn to. But we'll just start with the hero to be boring. If you are the hero, you like to think of yourself as a pretty liable and swell guy. Your life has been rather ordinary, aside from the occasional heroic adventures fighting evil monsters and whatnot. You are told a maiden from your village has been kidnapped and is likely being held captive at the nearby demon overlord's castle. Who even puts a village right next to where an entire demon army hangs out? You don't get it. Happy to protect the townspeople, though. You were born to play this role. Head off on your adventure to rescue the maiden. But demon soldiers block your path. You could kill them to gain experience. So you can either bravely slaughter the evil creatures, which is dutiful, or flee like a coward. You make quick work of the vile creatures who stood in your way. You feel much stronger now. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. So you can just ask if they'll let you in, which is diplomatic. We might as well just continue cutting through everything. You gather your courage. This is what must be done in order to rescue the maiden. These are all evil demons anyway. The world is much safer with them gone. That's what you tell yourself while you kill one after another on your way to the Overlord's chambers. The Overlord appears, demanding to know what the hell you're doing murdering all her soldiers. Get straight to the point and ask her where the maiden is. She feigns ignorance, a convincing act, but you won't be fooled. If the maiden isn't here, then what happened to her? You can see only one answer. The Overlord definitely captured her. In fact, it's possible she's already been devoured. Thinking about that poor maiden's fate fills you with hatred. You fight the Overlord with everything you've got. You've become strong from the hordes of demons you took down before the final battle. The Overlord is almost no match for you. You cut her to pieces. The Overlord has fallen. You breathe a sigh of relief, but your job is not yet finished. You search the castle. Unfortunately, you find no sign of the maiden within its walls. It's just as you suspected. She must have already been devoured. You feel hollow. Great evil has been banished from this world, but what does it matter if you were too weak to save someone? You stand alone amidst the carnage and ponder what it means to be a hero. You return to the Overlord's remains and wrap her head in your cape to bring back to the village. Surely your great victory will be celebrated. Failed hero end. Then you can go back to the beginning again. So yeah, there's 41 different endings we can get. We just got one of them. So since we were dutiful, we can have it set whether he'll be dutiful or not. So I'll just leave him undutiful. Then we'll see what actually happened to the maiden. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village next to a spooky demon overlord's castle. You're told that you're fated to be captured by the Overlord one day because you're a beautiful young girl. Demon overlords apparently love capturing those. Think of how you haven't heard of that actually happening to anyone. But maybe the demons just haven't been given the opportunity. Who knows? You're in a church. You pray to your god, asking why you have been born to this role of maiden. You respect the divine plan and all, but you're really just curious as to what the point of it is. You are impatient. Meeting a demon actually sounds pretty gosh darn exciting. Maybe you'd understand your role better if you were just to hurry up and get captured already. You leave a note to venture forth to find a demon, just to, see what happens. Not long into your little adventure, a demon underling appears before you. It looks pretty scary. Either shout for a hero to come save you, or introduce yourself. I have to be shout. You yell, but the hero does not come. The demon suddenly jumps you and starts biting a lot. How painful. This plan of yours was completely stupid, you think. Why couldn't you have been more patient? Why did you go looking for trouble? You weren't angry or anything. Of course, this is all your fault for trusting a demon not to devour you in sight. This is your punishment for questioning fate, you guess. Bit by bit, you are swallowed by the demon until you are no more. The consumed maiden end. So yeah, that's what happened to her in the other run. She never even made it to the castle, so. I assume you can also skip to the choices by hitting skip. I assume if I introduce myself, I'll still get eaten, but tell the demon your name and explain that you're a maiden from the village. The demon suddenly jumps to you and starts fighting. Yes, just died again. Being polite doesn't save you. Let's see, underlying over. So we're just do the underling next, go down them all. You're a demon underling in service of the Overlord. You aren't particularly strong, but not particularly weak either. That's what your friends tell you. Your job is to guard the castle and keep humans away. It's unbearably boring. Heroes rarely come all the way here to challenge the Overlord anyway. It's a lot of standing in one place, staring into nothing. I feel like you're gonna go crazy if you don't get a break. You decide to ask the Overlord for a day off. She gives you an earful about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. You wait for her to finish her lecture before returning to your post. What does she know about anything? Who made her the boss of everyone? Complain about the Overlord to your friends. They agree that she is kind of a snob and totally deserves to be kicked off her throne. You only wanted to vent your frustrations, but the conversation somehow turned into an assassination plot. You should probably steer this in a responsible direction. You say let's overthrow her or let's not. I mean, let's go with the rebellion, right? No, you're sick of this Overlord holding you and your friends back. You agree that it's time for a change of management. Your friends suggest maybe you should be the new Overlord. You like the sound of that. Announce your first act of rebellion to take that day off like you wanted. Friends aren't very impressed. You assure them you'll talk more about the assassination thing when you get back, which satisfies them. Sneak out of the castle to have some fun. A change of atmosphere excites you. You spend some time rolling around in the grass, wild and free. As you make your way to the path, along the path to the nearby human village, you encounter a maiden. She greets you and says she has a favor to ask. Consider your options. I mean, I could just eat her like the other one always did. Yeah, let's just eat her real quick. Maidens aren't the best meal, but you figure you should live up to your demon name and strike back against the humans. You start devouring the maiden without so much as a second thought, and feel quite proud of that. Other humans would surely praise you with curses if you're around to see. Oh man, if only someone could have been watching. Time to find an audience for your evil deeds. You wander into the nearby village. People are screaming and running away, throwing rocks at you and whatnot. I think that's pretty rude of them. You haven't even done anything yet. So you can put on a show, or change your mind and leave. And this has a little death icon, so I think I'll die if I do this. Let's do it. Attack the nearest human. He is old and weak, and his bones crunch delightfully. Your audience's screams grow louder. Applause. Think, hey, this is actually pretty fun. I should have taken revenge like this a lot sooner. As you consider your bloodthirsty dance, striking the villagers down, you fail to notice a sword-wielding hero running towards you. He takes you out in one swift blow. You're just a demon underling after all. As you die, you think that was totally worth it. The curtain closes. Perform our underling ending. How nice. So now I can decide whether he's hungry or disloyal stuff. Well, let's leave them all on the same stuff. Then let's see what the Overlord's doing. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. There's even a role called Hero, whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal anyway? You've actively avoided pissing off the humans in hopes to leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing if you're being quite honest with yourself. You don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the higher standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are. They're saying something about how boring it is to stand in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see their point, but the way they're whining about it kind of bothers you. What to do with this underling? You tell them to get back to work or grant them the day off. Let's just go for the bad ending first. Give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants ought to do what they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling and lie down in your nice and comfy Overlord bed. All that lecturing made you want to take a nap. You fall asleep pretty quick, just another one of your amazing talents as the Overlord. You wake to a huge commotion outside. Hero has shown up and started totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. Hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown too strong from cutting down your army. You're unable to defeat him. Decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall, you have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly, you wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the overlord in the first place. The truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. These are your thoughts as you were swallowed by darkness. Conquered Overlord ending. So when I click this, you can see the different paths the characters can take. This is when you slay them, and then you slaughter your way in. And then this guy was hungry, so you go to this bad end. But if he wasn't hungry, then you'd go over here. So it's like a path you can take with each character. Let's see. If I run away, then I can go to this new area of the path. So let's just run away and see what happens. Flee like a coward. Forgetting your pride to escape with your life. If you can't return home now, your reputation will be ruined. You wonder how you'll ever be able to rescue that maiden all on your own if you can't even fight some lousy demon underlings. Take your chances at the castle. You're a hero after all, this is your job. After a long trek, you make it to the castle's front gates. You're faced with an army of demons that all look very intimidating. There's no way to sneak past these monsters if you want to reach the Overlord. Guess we'll just ask to be let in. Go up to the nearest demon and explain why you've come here. They stare you down and you feel very uncomfortable. They seem to trust you and escort you directly to the Overlord's chambers. That was easy. The Overlord is alone. You ask her about the maiden. The Overlord doesn't seem to know what you're talking about. If she really never here, you wonder what could have happened to her. The Overlord says that she wishes she could help you. You're the first human that's come here in forever, at least that she knows of. Think of how you probably shouldn't trust her, seeing as she's a demon and all. Can't really prove she's lying either. You apologize for the intrusion and return home to your village. The maiden was never found. Useless hero end. Let's see, yeah, this was the ending I just got there. Sorry, this is the exit button. I don't want to exit right now. Let's see. Make it so the underling isn't hungry. Then go from there. You are a maiden. You live in a peaceful village. Yada yada yada. Let's go ahead a little bit. Introduce yourself. Tell the demon that your name and explain that you're a maiden for the village. Tell them that you were thinking maybe you could understand your role better if you were to hurry up and get taken away by a demon already. The demon doesn't seem to have really been listening to you, which is a little irritating. They agree to take you to their master, none of the less. After a long walk to the castle, you are introduced to the Overlord. She lectures the underling that brought you here, who was apparently told not to leave their post. You wonder what cruel punishment awaits them. But to your surprise, she lets them off easy. The underling is dismissed, and the Overlord turns to you, looking very interested. You explain why you've come, and she squints at you. Herself, she never had any plans to capture maidens, or to do anything else that would agitate the humans. You wonder for a moment if she might be lying, but it doesn't really seem like it. Still, this doesn't make any sense to you. You've always been told that demons would one day seek you out and something awful would happen. Then a hero would come to your rescue. You don't want to believe you've been lied to all along. Maybe it's just that you haven't been maiden-like enough. You ask the Overlord what you should do to be a more suitable maiden, but she doesn't seem to understand. Just go home and stop worrying about destiny so much. She makes it sound so simple. This Overlord seems like the complete opposite of you. You want to learn more about her and how she thinks. You insist on staying to talk with her more. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you. Little by little, you realize they may not be the ruthless monsters you were raised to believe. As it turns out, she commanded her demons to avoid towns and villages. She didn't want to risk giving humans any excuse to send a hero out after them. You realize that must be why you've never heard of any demons attacking your town. You express your gratitude to the Overlord on behalf of your village. She says you can thank her by telling the humans to stop raising heroes. She's tired of her servants getting killed off by them. You always thought demons were violent and unreasonable creatures, but it seems the Overlord could say the same of humans. They may be different, but really they're just trying to live their lives the same as you. I feel like you're starting to understand things a lot better. But maybe everything I've said was to deceive you and the other humans. What would you do if it turned out to be super evil all along? Even if she were to capture you now, you think this place is far more interesting the way things are back home. I don't like not being told to expect demons to come after you all the time. You feel free. Honestly, you've always kept to yourself, but spending time with this Overlord has been very nice. You feel butterflies in your stomach. As you think that, a hero enters the room. You're surprised to see him at first, until you realize he must have been sent to retrieve you. Confused, the hero asks you what's going on. You explain the situation, reassuring him that you are never in any danger. The hero expresses his relief that his whole misunderstanding hasn't led to any horrible consequences. Like if he had done the murder or everything and then had this happen. Apologize for causing trouble, but really, didn't anyone read the note you left? Jeez. The hero asks if you return to the village with him to give everyone the news of your safety. The Overlord allows the two of you to leave. You give her a little wave as you exit the room. You'll be back soon. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of suspicious demons congregating. Talking about assassinating the Overlord, you have to warn her. The hero shakes his head. He says that if that is the true nature of demons, the world is better off with less of them. This isn't right, you think. What kind of hero passes up the chance to save a life? Demons have taken notice of you. It's now or never. You take off into the castle, and the unreliable hero follows shortly after. You burst into the Overlord's room, all your words spilling out at once. You should probably slow down, but there's no time. The Overlord seems to have followed your frantic explanation. Clearly doesn't understand the urgency of the situation. The underling you recognize from before barges in, calling you a liar. You're surprised they were part of this evil plot. They seem so nice. The other demons come in right after them, saying the whole thing was the first underling's idea. Everyone's shouting at each other now. It's really stressing you out. You are relieved when the Overlord demands silence. She threatens them with violence, and you think she is a very Overlord-like in this moment. A group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the little one behind. You watch as it pounds on the door in distress. If they locked you all in, you have a bad feeling about this. And thinking that must have jinxed it, because now the room is engulfed in flames. If only you had ignored those demons before, you and the hero wouldn't have stumbled into this situation. If you had just pretended not to hear them, if you had left as you were told, only the Overlord would have been killed. But you couldn't have done that. That path isn't an option for you. Think that no matter what, you'll always strive for the path where everyone survives. It must exist. It simply must. The Overlord seizes her underling. They beg for their life. You pray. You don't know what else to do, so you just pray. The Overlord's claws pierce the underling's chest. They scream an awful scream. She digs and twists her claws into the poor thing while you continue to pray. There's no saving any of you now. You, the Overlord, the hero, and the underling's corpse are consumed by flames. The devout maiden end. So that was an ending. Let's see. Let's play as the Overlord again and see what we can do, and if we can change anything. So instead of being mean to them, just grant them the day off. Tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. Day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you and happily scurry off to who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You wake to a knock on the door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her that you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my role well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? You don't really understand the question. I think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. Maiden seems to have a hard time wrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. This is the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. She could be antisocial and tell her she'd better go home. Let her stay for a while. Let's just be antisocial and get her out of here. You'd love to have all the conversation in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face, and tell her to get lost. The maiden turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. Still, the situation's just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise. The demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kind of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as to not agitate them and get heroes sent out after you. It explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden's different. You joke that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time, that you're actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. The people in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. Can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He was apparently searching for the maiden, who was rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. I only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Didn't anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hasn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confused feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised he had one of those to begin with. You don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. I just tell you went back. So I can keep your hero, which is possessive. You'll probably die, or let them go. Let's go for the bad ending first. I mean, they're all bad ends, but yeah. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. Tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. You won't let her go. Maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before you can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Since she says she prefers this place to her village, now she doesn't have to leave. Take a step towards the maiden, she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. Something sharp pieces your back. The hero? No, he's already. It's one of your underlings. The maiden screams. Servant tackles you, tearing you apart with her claws. You struggle to retaliate. You've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. Betrayed Overlord N to B. Let's see. Most of the game is just interpreting how to get the different endings on here. Let's see. I could slay the demons. I can slaughter my way through the castle. Then the maiden can actually be there. Do that ending, yes. Now to slaughter everyone. Find the maiden being held captive by the Overlord, just as you suspected. For some reason, you can't sense anything sinister happening. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Destroy the Overlord, which is heroic. Or ask her what's going on. Just destroy her. You lunge forward, driving your blade through the evil Overlord. She screams, then falls silent. The Overlord has been slain. You smile, offering the maiden your hand. She takes it after slight hesitation. She must be surprised how strong you are. You escort the maiden home. She's oddly quiet on the trek back to the village. She must be too shy to speak. The villagers are very pleased with what a good job you've done, slaying the Overlord and saving a hostage. They throw a huge celebration in her name. You are remembered for generations as the greatest hero the village has ever seen. Triumphant hero end. Eight of the 41 endings. If I get rid of that, I'll get a different ending. After slaughtering everyone. Ask the maiden what's going on. She explains that she came here on her own. She was never in any danger. She hesitantly asks why you're covered in blood. You don't know how to respond. The Overlord moves past you and out the door. To see your army in lifeless bloody piles. She's wailing. It's horrible. This is your chance, hero. I guess I could just stab her now. But no, let's apologize for the different ending. I hope she'll let this whole thing slide if you could just explain yourself. You really tried, but the Overlord is inconsolable. He tears you apart, and the maiden watches in silence. As you die, you can't help but think you probably deserve this. Tragic hero end. Okay, that's all those. There's something I don't know here. Say flee. Then use diplomacy. Everything is fine. But they're possessive, and that's a new ending, so. Flee like a coward, ask if they'll let you in. The Overlord and maiden seem to be in the middle of some casual conversation when you barge in. You all look at each other in surprise and confusion. This is no time to hesitate. Then I can get the bad ending again for just ask what's going on, I think. The maiden explains that she was never actually captured and that she came here on her own volition. It was a pretty dangerous thing of her to do, but no one got hurt, so at least there's that. You ask her to return to town with you to reassure everyone of her safety. The Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like these. Tell the Overlord that if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You are helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. Naive hero end. Now the rest are grayed out, so I don't know. I need to play as other characters to unlock the next parts for them, so. Let's see, the main stage thing over. So I make them antisocial, and then I can either choose to stay or I can leave. So if I leave, that's a new ending. So let's go try that. The Overlord tells you again that you should get lost. How rude, you just got here. Oh, beggar. You don't want to cause any trouble, so you figure it's time to go home. Along the way, you encounter a hero. He asks you what you're doing. Don't you know the Overlord's castle is like right there? You explain everything that happened. The hero seems to think you're lying to him. He asks if you've been brainwashed by the demons. What nerve? You are very upset that this so-called hero would treat you this way, leave in a huff. Return to the village alone. Everyone was very worried about you. They surround you with 1,000 questions, and you tell them your story. As you explain that the Overlord never had any intentions to harm anyone here, you notice the looks of uncertainty in the crowd. People are whispering things to each other while you speak to them. You are loudly interrupted by an older man. He rudely calls you a demon sympathizer. The crowd is growing unruly. You don't understand. You've only told them the truth. Do they not believe you? Everyone begins speculating what must have actually happened. They weave elaborate lies and ask you to prove your innocence. How could you have returned without the aid of a hero, they ask? You could not have possibly escaped the Overlord on your own without harm. You must be conspiring with the demons, trying to trick everyone into believing they aren't the horrible creatures we know them to be, so they say. Have the people of your village always been this blinded by their fears and hatred of things they've never cared to know? You wonder how you missed that before. You are seized by the crowd, and voices from all sides are calling for public execution. You are to be burned at the stake. You don't want to die. You wonder, would it have been better to hide the truth? You don't like the thought of that. You have always lived honestly, so why has this happened? Why are you being punished? You hear the dissenting voices of your family and neighbors, but they, like you, are powerless against the momentum. You can only watch as you burn, and you can only cry for them. You are so, so sorry. Executed Maiden End. 11 to 41 endings, guys. Okay, I think I unlocked some more for the hero, so I'm just gonna try to 100% the hero's path, I guess. Make sure she's antisocial. Heroes. And if I slay them, then I get this. Let's do more slaughtering. On her way to the Overlord's castle, you spot a maiden heading back towards the village. She couldn't have come from the Overlord's castle, could she? This may be the exact maiden you're currently seeking to rescue. You approach her with curiosity, and she runs from you for some reason. You wonder what that's all about. Then you remember you're covered in demon blood. Not wanting to look like you're a crazy person chasing after her or anything, you nonchalantly walk back to town. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. Smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. You decide to call it a day and return to your house, but you can't escape the sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Spectator, hero, and to be. It's bad. Then if I run from the demons, then I can get this, which will just go to the same bad end. So any new paths here? Yes. I meet her. I stay there. Here it was diplomatics. Nobody's dead. Okay, so her viewpoint of the whole possessive thing. Sure, he doesn't kill everyone. Introduce yourself. Use to leave. Put your foot down and tell her you're not going anywhere. You still want to fulfill your destiny, even if you have to make it happen on your own. She's a little frustrated at your stubbornness, but doesn't kick you out or anything. Hooray. The Overlord shares many stories about demons with you, etc., etc. Knock you back to her. She's refusing to let you go. But the Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. Feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You leave me no choice. The Overlord suddenly jumps the hero. She tears it to him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Had she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? The Overlord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. Her expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. The Overlord stops, or rather, someone has stopped her. Whatever held back your scream before doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone's stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. You thank them for what they've done, even though it's awful. You feel like you've been rescued from a terrible fate. They look at you confused for a moment, but then puff out their chests. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice to make your way out of the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. Escaped maiden and bait. So that's so if I don't make him disloyal, then I get a different thing. Do everything the same, but this time the other demon isn't disloyal. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Captured Maiden and A. Okay, so what's anything else new we can do? So we get here. Shall I stay? Then he was dutiful and heroic, and then we get the ending here. Refused to leave. Then a hero barges into the room. Clothes are stained by dark liquid. It's dripping from his weapon, too. You realize it must be demon blood. Something horrible has happened. The hero suddenly dashes towards the Overlord, sword drawn. She can protect her, get the martyr ending, or do nothing. Protect her. You selflessly throw yourself in front of the hero's blade, acting as a shield. It's funny, you think. You never could imagine this would be the way that you die. The rules are all switched around, but it feels right to you somehow. You're glad your destiny turned out to be saving someone rather than being saved yourself. As your vision fades, you hope that everything turns out alright for your new friend. Sacrificial maiden end. Oh, there's a new one here. So gotta be heroic and dutiful. It's probably just the opposite end of what we just saw. I can't remember if... attack, I suppose. You lunge forward to put an end to the evil overlord, but your blade pierces the maiden instead. She has sacrificed herself to protect this demon. It takes you a moment to recover from the shock. The overlord wails. Why did you do that? You're not sure if the question is directed at you. The overlord strikes at you in a vengeful rage. You parry, and she is slain. Your sword feels heavy. You look at your hands, you're closed. Blood, so much blood. You look to the fallen maiden, wondering what to tell the townspeople. Why would she protect the overlord? She must have been brainwashed by demonic magic. You pick up the overlord's head, wrapping it in your cape. Begin your long journey back to town. You will say that you were too late, that nothing could be done for the girl. But the overlord is slain. There will be celebration. Loyal hero end. Okay, I think we got one more we can do, but let's see, we need to... Hero, we need to flee. Need to be diplomatic. It's fine, and then disloyal, and then... So his version of the other stuff that happened. Actually, can I go back? Well, might as well just continue all the way then. But I think I needed to have the other person have that demon overlord not set a... Yes. Not possessive. Now we try it again. Feel like a coward. Ask to let you in. Ask her what's going on. The overlord allows the two of you to leave, and you casually exit the castle. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. You have to tell her about this. You don't understand what the maiden is thinking. The world is better off with less demons. They're all cold, ruthless creatures that should be destroyed. And those same creatures have just noticed you eavesdropping. The maiden takes off into the castle, and you have no choice but to follow. You burst into the overlord's room. The maiden frantically tries to communicate what you just overheard. The demon underling barges in next, calling you liars. It's followed by the group from the entrance, who shifts the blame back onto the little one. These demons only care about themselves. How low can they be? You begin shouting at them, and the whole room dissolves into noise until the overlord yells for everyone to shut their traps. She threatens them with violence. This overlord is no better than her subjects. You grip your sword tightly. If you have to cut through everyone here to get this maiden to safety, you certainly will. The group of demons hiss to each other before shutting the door, leaving the runt of the litter behind. You glance around for another exit, but there isn't one. You have a terrible feeling about this. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. What kind of demonic magic is this? The underling pounds on the door, upset that it's been betrayed. You join it, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. The next moment, the overlord has taken hold of the underling. It's crying for mercy. She thrusts her claws into her underling's chest, and it lets out a horrible scream. You back away. You won't be the next target of her rage. She continues to dig and twist her claws into his limp body. You can no longer watch. You look to the maiden. She's crying, hands clasped together in prayer. To have faith in a time like this, you envy her. The two of you, the overlord and the underling's corpse, are all consumed by the flames. Resigned hero end. There's one more ending I can get here. It's the same one where I did the martyr, but not the martyr. Do nothing. Hero's blade pierces the Overlord. She lets out a horrible scream. You flinch. The Overlord is slain. Hero smiles and holds out his hand to you, saying it's time to go home. His glove is drenched in blood. Hesitantly, you take his hand. Hero guides you through the castle, past the corpses of his enemies. You try to keep your eyes at your feet. There's blood everywhere. You shut your eyes, but even then, you can't escape the smell. All of this was because of you, wasn't it? You exit the castle. The hero leads you back to the village. Everyone celebrates the hero's great triumph over the demons. You feel sick, but you take part in the festivities regardless. Complacent maiden end. Okay, there's another ending up here, actually. No, wait, I need to get past that. Just no. Any new ones here? Yes. Save the minion for last, I guess. So if he was dutiful, then get to that one. Can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. Enjoy a nice long chat with her, etc. Notice the sounds of battle have started ringing through your castle halls. The maiden's getting nervous, but you reassure her that this is only your underling's roughhousing. No big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. But he shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He is covered in demon's blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle has really taken it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come here for the maiden? Did he think she needed rescuing? There's no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking to her. Why has it turned out like this? Feel a sudden sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Ah, that was careless of you. So this is how you die, stabbed in the back by some cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. That's right, humans can't be trusted, not if this is what they're capable of. You should have remembered that before letting one in. You watch as the hero takes the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he'd left in his wake. Captured by a demon, at least she got what she came here for. Join your army in eternal slumber. Slain Overlord End. Let's see. If he's dutiful and not heroic, we get a different ending. So let's try that one. The hero starts babbling insincere apologies and excuses, realizing that it's his wrongdoing. But you're far beyond hearing that kind of bullshit. You've had it with these humans always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there's nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. Wrathful Overlord End. Of the 41 endings. Let's see, now I can get the martyr ending from this side of things. Grant them the day off. Always good to be nice. Let her stay. The maiden shouts something behind you. And you turn just in time to see her throw herself between you and the hero's blade. It pierces her chest, and she falls to the floor, lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control. The hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all and become ruler of the entire world. Vengeful Overlord End A. villainous backstory if there ever was one. Let's see. There's one more I can get over here. Let's see, possessive, but then what else? Okay, so the possessive one without the underling being disloyal. Take off. Or stay for a while. Did I set that up right? This is new. She wanted to stay here with you. The hero was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You'll be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. Selfish overlord end. Okay. So now we must go in here. Just don't eat her. Or start. Be disloyal, and then he's diplomatic. Jesus. She's surprisingly cool with it. Nice. Set out on your adventure outside the castle. Roll around and stuff. Just not eat her. You're in a good mood today and are rather curious about what the maiden has to say. Humans don't usually talk to you, so this is kind of exciting. You hadn't guessed it would even be possible to understand each other before now. The maiden's going on and on about some kind of destiny she's trying to fulfill. The bottom line, from what you gather, is that she wants you to take her to the Overlord. Sounds like it could be interesting. Besides, you have nothing better to do. Satisfied with your day out, you take the maiden back to the castle and present her to the Overlord. You seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long, your friends wake you up. Rude. One of them is stepping on you pretty hard. You ask them what their deal is. They say they're planning a whole revolution. They're gonna get rid of the current Overlord and put a new ruler in place. You want to hear if you're in or out. Being a pretty lazy underling, you of course reply with, "That sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we just skip it instead?" Your friends question her loyalty to their cause. Be disloyal, or she's actually not so bad, guys. She's a death ending. Might as well just die first. Your friends seem pretty disappointed. They apologize to you, but before you can ask what they're sorry about, one of them suddenly seizes you. Someone who's still loyal to the Overlord really has no place in our castle. You understand, right? Their claws tighten around your neck. You don't bother to struggle. You're outnumbered. You already know how things like this end. This is a pretty messed up thing to do to a friend, you tell them. You slit your throat in response. Faithful underling end. Do the same thing, but just go along with the thing. Okay, let's kill the Overlord. You tell them you were just joking and clarify that you're totally in it to win it. Say you were always terrible with jokes. Whether or not you actually feel like killing the Overlord, you know how bad it'd be to end up on the wrong side of things. And if this assassination deal doesn't pan out, you can always pretend you're innocent all along. But beneath your shield of faux confidence, you worry about what you're getting yourself dragged into. You follow your friends outside the castle to talk more about the plan. You're curious if they have any idea how they want to go about this. They figured they'd just lock her in a room and set it on fire. What a stupid plan. That could go wrong in so many ways. You realize your friends are just a bunch of directionless thugs, useless without someone's guidance. Your guidance. There'd probably be casualties if you fought her head on, and while showy deaths make a revolution a heck of a lot more fun, it's probably the wrong way to go. Your friends agree, and just that you played the assassin. You really didn't want it to come down to this. You can't back down now. You'll have to be the one to assassinate the Overlord. Besides, no one has any better ideas. You sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. The Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. It was messier than you would have liked. The maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle. You are the new Overlord. Heroic underling end. Let's see. She's a tyrant. Disloyal. Vader has been it. Just don't go back to the castle. Just return after eating her. If he's dutiful, there's something happens. Yeah, sure, let's overthrow. Then eat her real quick. But then don't go back to the village. Figure if people are this upset at just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate in terrible acts you commit. Also, they might fight back. That probably wouldn't end well. You're just one little underling after all. The little day out has been adequately refreshing. You return to the castle, thinking you'll take a nap. After a few hours of sleep, you're rudely awakened by the sounds of battle. You emerge from your room to find that a hero has slaughtered many of your friends and work associates. What a jerk. Avenge your fallen comrade's death, but might as well do that first then. What does this guy think he is, coming in here and killing everyone like some maniac? What did we ever do to him? You lunge at him while he's been driving his sword at the guard who sometimes brought you food whenever they noticed you were feeling kinda down. You liked that guard. You wished with all your demon heart for this hero to suffer for his deeds. You bite into him, tearing flesh from bone. It tastes like iron. The hero struggles. You feel his sword go through you, but there's no pain, only retribution. More of your comrades pile onto him as your consciousness fades. The hero is overtaken. Your army has won. You have earned your rest. Victorious underling end. Was he really victorious, though? Overthrow. Eat the maiden. Don't go in there. Save yourself. You look around all the lifeless forms of those you've known as far back as you can remember. You feel glad not to be in their shoes. You also feel guilty to be thinking that as you flee the castle. Until you remember your role, not as an underling, but as a demon. This kind of thing is expected of you. Maybe you'll start a new life far away from any humans or demons. Where you live peacefully alone in some deep dark forest somewhere. Desert or underling end. Actually, there seems to be one here that I haven't done yet. Antisocial and obedient. Something will happen. Okay. Not hungry, I assume. Otherwise, she would just be dead. Flee. You ask the maiden what she's doing. Doesn't she know the Overlord's castle is like right there? It's dangerous. The maiden explains that she spoke with the Overlord, and it turns out the demons never had any diabolical plans to harm the village or anyone in it. You can either be trusting, or she can't be trusted. Let's do the bad one first. You aren't sure you should listen to this maiden. You've been taught your whole life that demons are evil. You ask if she's sure about all this, but she gets very upset that you think she would lie to you. She storms off before you can say anything else. You decide to return to the village, certain that she must have been the kidnapped maiden you were sent to rescue, glad that took care of itself. You take your time walking home. Job well done today, you think to yourself. As you walk past the town square, you notice the whole village is crowded around. Is that the maiden you saw earlier? She's bound to a wooden stake. The crowd is in a frenzy. Smoke begins to rise, and you stand idly by as flames consume the maiden. She must have done something horrible to deserve that. She seemed nice, though, you think. But evil comes in all forms, you reassure yourself. Decide to call it a day and return to your house. You can't escape this sinking feeling. Maybe you aren't cut out for this role. Spectator, hero, and A. Okay, let's do that, and not just... believe her story. You have no reason to assume she's lying to you. Even though her story is kind of hard to believe, you feel you should trust her. You tell her you're pretty surprised that everyone has been wrong about demons all along. Townspeople must be informed of this immediately. Two of you return to the village. They had all been so worried. They praise you for your bravery. The maiden quickly sets the record straight. There was nothing she needed to be rescued from in the first place. Villagers look at you for an explanation. You politely inform them that it isn't your story to tell. You merely ran into her on the way to the castle. She explains that the Overlord isn't interested in capturing maidens or anything of the sort. The villagers turn to you again in disbelief. They aren't being subtle in how little they trust this maiden's story. You totally believe her, but to placate these fair citizens, you volunteer to speak to the demons personally, just in case. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You're too busy thinking of what a great and reliable hero you are to hear what they're saying. The town elder's voice breaks you out of your thoughts. He implores you to meet with the Overlord immediately and says they'll all keep an eye on the maiden until you return. You figure that sounds alright, but the mood is kind of intense for some reason. Did you miss something? You aren't sure what's going on, but you get the feeling that it might be bad to leave the maiden on her own. She suddenly takes off running. Oh, you thought the two of you were in this together. Her actions so convince the crowd that she's obviously been a liar and a witch from the start. People are shouting for you to hunt her down and her demon friends down. To hunt her and her demon friends down already. That doesn't sound like a very heroic task. You can't help but feel these people are wrong. It's up to you to catch up to her and talk to the demons in order to clear up this misunderstanding. You valiantly dash after the maiden towards the Overlord castle. But you are too late. Through the unguarded gate, she spotted a group of demons surrounding a body. The maiden, she was a fool to have trusted the demons after all. Fear her blood is boiling. You'll avenge her death. You charge to the gates to limit every demon you see. What the fuck are you doing, killing all my soldiers? The Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low in health when everything goes black. Your quest has come to an abrupt end. Unlucky heroine. Just new maiden thing. So I can make a different choice if he's trusting at this point now. Leave what she says to him. He's very surprised the demons don't seem to be as malicious as you are raised to believe. The two of you return to the village, hoping to communicate this to everyone. They had all been so worried and are very glad that the hero brought you back. But they set the record straight. You weren't rescued because there was nothing to be rescued from in the first place. The villagers seem confused and look to the hero for an explanation. He tells them that he only ran into you on his way to the castle, and that this isn't really his story to tell. You explain to them how you met the Overlord, and that he's not actually interested in that she's not actually interested in capturing maidens or other mean things like that. The villagers look again to the hero for confirmation. You feel a little miffed that they seem to prefer his word over yours, but you don't say anything about it. The hero proclaims that he believes your story, but volunteers to go talk to the demons himself, just to make absolutely sure. The crowd breaks into hushed whispers. You hear words like trickery and demon sympathizer being thrown around, which makes you frown. Pretty shocked that everyone's this hesitant to believe you. Does the hero even trust you? You aren't sure anymore. An old man implores the hero to go speak with the Overlord immediately. He says you should be held prisoner and considered dangerous until the hero returns. Much to your disbelief, the crowd agrees with him. Because, of course, if you were conspiring with the demons, they can't afford to let their guard down. The whole village would be slaughtered by monsters. The hero isn't saying anything. You'll be tied up and tossed into a cell at this rate. If you're going to be held captive by anyone, it's going to be the Overlord, not your fellow countrymen. So you can grab the hero and run, or just leave you on your own. Just death. So let's die first. You can prove yourself without anyone's help. Make a run for the Overlord's castle, leaving the hero behind. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them. The underling you recognized from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be. They suddenly attack you. At that moment, you regret having ever trusted the demons. You die instantly. Slaughtered made an end. If it's disloyal, give it bad. If it's not disloyal, something else happens. And of course, it's the one where I just take the hero with me, so let's get that one first. Grab the hero and run. Boldly announce that you'll accompany the hero to prove yourself. You'd rather risk what's out there instead of staying in a village that doesn't trust you. No one seems to know how to react. Grab the hero by the wrist and take off before anyone stops you. Near the castle's entrance, you spy a group of etc. Then everybody dies in the fire again. So did I do that wrong? Because that was the same ending, not the question mark. Sweet, this only happens if he's disloyal, so if he's not disloyal, I'll go the other way, okay. Misread that a little bit. Okay. Is that what I wanted? But as you approach the castle, you notice something's gone terribly wrong. It appears to be on fire. Is the Overlord alright? You have to be sure everyone is safe. You've already taken off if the hero can even think of stopping you. You scan the fleeing demons, but the Overlord isn't among them. Against your better judgment, you rush to the burning castle to find her. You reach the Overlord's room, but the door is shut tight. The handle is too hot to touch. You're too weak to force it open. You pound your fist against the door helplessly. What were you thinking? This is all because you'd forgotten your role. Only a hero could pull this kind of thing off. You start to cough. The smoke is too thick. You can hardly breathe. You realize you haven't gotten much time left now. You desperately head towards the stairs to save yourself. But the fire spreads faster than you expected. You won't make it outside. Can't help but laugh. What a joke. A maiden saving the Overlord. If you just stayed true to your role, things wouldn't have ended like this. This is exactly the kind of punishment you deserve. You let the demon fire cleanse your rotten soul. Selfless Maiden End A. "29 of the 41 endings. Do you have a favorite ending, or is it still too early to decide? Hey, there's another ending down here I can get theoretically. Obedience to leave. They're disloyal. grant them the day off. Tell her to go home. Maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. Figure you may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest for very long. The maid instantly bursts into your room, accompanied by a hero. She's trying to frantically communicate something to you, but you're still half asleep. They tell you a group of demons is after your life. You still don't grasp the urgency of the situation. One of your underlings barges in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was that first underling's plan. Everyone is shouting over each other now. It's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. You have no doubt that your servants would let their ambitions cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless of who led this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish everyone to keep you all in place, crushed beneath my heel. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. A group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the maid, and the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underling pounds on the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. Hero pounds on the door as well, vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. So this is how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. Should have expected this from a bunch of idiot demons, though. Notice the maiden crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. You wonder if you're cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration, you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling those traitors blamed everything on. They cry for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cry that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. So I could take retribution or to forgive them. I think we'd both die anyway, but you release the underling, killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Overlord's true end. So that's the first true ending I think we've got. So that's her canon personality. She's right there. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself. What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. This is bad end theater. Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you entered this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grow attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. So, yeah, the true end. The true end. So, yeah, that's this game so far. I don't want the video to be super long, so I think this is a good length for part 1. So we'll come back to it and try to get more endings and maybe find an ending that isn't bad, if it's possible. So yeah, like the video, subscribe if you want more, leave a comment if you want to discuss anything that happened in here, and most importantly of all, have a nice day. Bye.